Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update on all the physical releases coming to the Nintendo Switch, January the 26th until the 30th. Let's see what we've got this week. Animal Well is releasing in North America this week at retail and complete on cartridge, which makes it a bit better than the one limited run did. Not that the patch the game had was anything major, it only had a small patch, but at least they went to the extra effort to have this one complete. Although saying that, the game is like 50 megabytes, so it's a relatively giant patch for that game. Animal Well is often considered to be one of the best indie games of recent years, a Metroidvania exploration game, no combat but incredibly clever design and planning from a solo developer over so many years to make it a great experience. It looks gorgeous too, and if you don't own Limited Run's version, then get this North American one. And my executive producers Super Ben Julio, Dane Wilkinson, Jeddah Crow, Sora Cat, Nerdy Sean, and Surfacing for Air have chosen this as their pick of the week. Dinkum is releasing in North America and Europe this week, probably at least. This has already been released in Asia, but this Western release has been known for a while, and this is a game that I remember being featured in a Nintendo Direct. Fancy. A survival life simulation game inspired by the Aussie outback. You gather resources and build your own town. It's supposed to be pretty good, especially as it was developed primarily by one bloke. A bit of Minecraft, a bit of Stardew, a bit of Animal Crossing in one package. And my executive producers, Jennifer M, JCross7776, Dead Bunnies YouTube, Danielle O, and Dave Huswaite have chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want it or any of the games in this video, then please consider purchasing via the links in the description and pinned comment. That massively helps support me, this series, and this channel to keep producing useful physical content for you guys. VGP are a very nice company with free worldwide shipping on orders over 75 Canadian bucks, like 54 American dollars, not that much. Plus each week, if you buy something via my link, you are put into a draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. And this week's winner is Andrew P. Congratulations, Andrew. You should get an email from VGP with your discount coupon in the coming days. Thank you for your support. And everyone else out there, Temirana, The Lucky Princess, and The Tragic Knights. A quick mention to this, which should be releasing in Europe this week. It is already out in North America. Alright, the low print limited pre-orders. High on Life Game of the Year Edition is Limited Run's game this week, and just this week because pre-orders are opening on Sunday of all days, and it is a pretty important release for them and the physical industry because Limited Run are throwing their hat into the ring with proper Nintendo Switch 2 physicals. For me, it is a bit of a poor choice if I'm being critical. I explained why in the video I made about it when they announced it. It is a good game and all, worthy of a physical, but the circumstances around it means it's kind of poor timing. But yeah, if you want to pre-order this Nintendo Switch 2 physical cartridge, you can do so at Limited Run Games on Sunday. My executive producers, Viz, Justin PDC, Mr. Awesome, Thorn Metal Luna, Jake Vav, and OGCIB have chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, we're going into the import section, and boy is Japan having a feast over there this week. Yes, this episode is all about the imports pretty much. If you want to pre-order any of these, you can do so via VGP where available, but also Play Asia, where if you click my Play Asia link, you can get 5% off with my code Jordan2026. Romance of the Three Kingdoms 8 Remake Destiny and Strategy Expansion Pack is releasing in Asia this week. Well, there is a Japanese release and there's also a Hong Kong release, but neither of those have English. However, there is a Southeast Asian release in Singapore which will have English. And on consoles, it is literally the only way to play this expansion in English on a console because this isn't even releasing digitally on Western eShops. That's really bizarre. They made it in English for Singapore, but still didn't bother releasing it in the West. That's nuts. Here you get the base game that's already got a physical, which means, most of you who already own that base game probably won't be getting the best value for money if you buy this version. But if you don't own that, you get the base game and the expansion pack, which adds some big twists to the gameplay. Very niche, but I'm up for it for sure. And by the way, you can get the DLC downloaded from the Singapore eShop. Like if you've got the original cartridge, you can download the expansion pack from the Singapore eShop. I think it's like $30 or something. It's quite expensive, but it is an option. And my executive producers, Adamantium, Firm Returns, Azrath, God of Resin, Dave Horworth, Miami Sunrise, and Joshua L. have chosen this as their pick of the week. Card and Ciel Nintendo Switch 2 edition is releasing in Japan this week. A proper Nintendo Switch 2 cartridge is upon us once again, and this is a game that already had a Switch physical, also an import exclusive. So again, not an essential title if you already own the base game, but if you don't, this will be the best way to play what is considered a really good indie game that's inspired by Mega Man Battle Network. This Switch 2 edition will play in English and will play in 4K resolution, as well as a higher frame rate, and also include mouse controls for the battles. It's also coming in a limited edition, a collector's edition, which will have an art book, a soundtrack CD, and a keychain. My executive producers, Josh Foote, The Nemo 6, Vey, D's Nuts, and Jimmy A. Guerrero have chosen this as their pick of the week. Dusk Index Gion is releasing in Japan this week with English. There's no Western physical, and this is a mystery visual novel developed by Cherry Moki, who did the very well-loved Tokyo Dark game. I don't know much about this game, but there is a demo available for players to sample it. It is a story set between two timelines, and I know VN fans are really looking forward to this one. My executive producers, Rose, G Bautista 100, Cartoon Soren, and Kevin W. have chosen this as their pick of the week. Dark Auction is releasing in Japan this week, and this is more my type of thing. Is it a visual novel? Is it not a visual novel? It's borderline, but it is quite ambitious because it has 3D exploration, as you can go freely about this old castle, so it is quite free, a bit old school, and the story is written by the same lady who wrote Hotel Dusk Room 215, as well as Another Code, so some good pedigree there. You use your reasoning and deduction to solve the mystery, and there's some like auction mechanic which I don't quite get in its wording, but I'm sure it's fine when playing. It will have English, and there's been no Western physical announced. My executive producers, Alexander Cato, Brent McLean, and Big Bruno have chosen this as their pick of the week. GigaSword is releasing in Asia this week. I think Japan is a few months later, but this is an action platformer, pretty simple looking, especially for indie games these days. This is a game that makes us choosing between brain or brawn. You whack stuff with your giant sword, but you also have to abandon it at times to do some like platforming and puzzle solving. Reviews for the digital release are decent, but not universally positive, but the import exclusive will play in English. My executive producers, Instacritic and Cookie Kid, have chosen this as their pick of the week. Chrono Ark is a fantastic looking game, reviewed very positively, and even me, someone who can't even stomach the phrase roguelike deck builder, I want to play this. Like, it looks fantastic, great presentation, you have different party members whose cards need to synergize, and this has got fantastic reviews. I'm really surprised this is not getting a Western physical release. Anyways, the Japanese release will have English and should be a purchase if you enjoy the genre. My executive producers, Ghost Bune and Lewis K, have chosen this as their pick of the week. DreadOut Remastered Collection, a quick mention to this, which is releasing in Japan this week. This is already out in Asian regions, and there is no Switch physical in the West. Oddly, only the PlayStation 5 version got a North American physical release. Anyways, it has two janky but charming horror games within it. Japan is also getting all of these games. Oh my gosh, that is a lot of games, most of which do not have English. Only one of them does, Caravan Sandwich, and we already have that in the West, so yeah, none of them really worth importing unless you know Japanese. Before we get into the community spotlight, if you're new here, or maybe you're not the kind to normally do so, please subscribe, okay? The bigger this channel is, the more publishers will pay attention to the demand for physical media. Plus, I want to get to 40,000 subscribers before the end of the year, if possible. Can I do that? Come on. Alright, the community spotlight. Mr. Awesome sent in this photo, including Bubsy, the Perfect Collection, a perfect release in conjunction with the recent announcement of Bubsy 4D. The One sent in this photo, one of many to pick up Trails Beyond the Horizon. We're going to be seeing that a lot thanks to you JRPG fiends out there. Surfacing for Air sent in this photo picking up, yeah, those games, which I still can't believe got a Western physical release at retail. Proof that pretty much anything can, really. Lewis K sent in this photo picking up two big imports from last year. Okay, they didn't sell the most, but I do think they are extremely worth owning. Stalker Collection and Atelier Resliana. Instacritic sent in this photo also with a big bunch of imports. The pink one at the bottom is a very obscure shmup called Il Velo Swamp Happy Together. There's no English on that, but shmup fans probably won't care about the lack of English. Dead Bunny's YouTube sent in this photo picking up P-Ode, or Pode, I don't know how to say it. A slightly unappealing name, but it's an old school boomer shooter that is supposed to be pretty good. Jimmy A. Guerrero sent in this photo with Majogami, the Nintendo Switch 2 physical, one of a handful of import exclusives for the system. This actually has a small discount now, and I think it might be permanently. I think it's got like a 20% cut in price. Kevin W. sent in this photo with the collector's edition of Trails Beyond the Horizon for the hybrid device. Don't confuse it with the non-hybrid blue sticker device. Phil H. sent in this photo with some nice import releases. Again, loads of imports this week, including Football Manager Touch, which I'm mildly surprised actually released since the PC version went through some very bad teething issues that I think it's still going through. Dave Horwath sent in this photo with the collector's edition of Jedi Power Battles, which that is actually a pretty cool box. I like what they did with that. Cartoon Soren sent in this photo, pulling some homemade tricks on the Yuka Replayly. Visually, better, but I'm not sure Nintendo's marketing would approve. It would be too confusing for us stupid consumers out there. Dabro90 sent in this photo, and it definitely looks like they went for a dip on Axis's European store. Some very nice horror adventure games alongside the belated European release of The Good Old Days. How is that an 18 rated game? Like, what's going on there? Firm Return sent in this photo, picking up Valkyria Chronicles, that limited run did, but did become available via VGP. Honestly, if you miss out the first time on limited run stuff, just wait, because VGP will get their games like 3 or 4 months down the line. Mickey McFlynn sent in this photo, picking up 3 games. Is it weird that I'm a bit more inclined to play the port of a PS1 game? Yes, I think I would choose R-Type out of all of these games if I really had to. Shiggy found these for €2 a pop, so perfect as spare cases. Just throw the cartridges away. Put them in the dump. I don't know, how did a Nintendo game ever get that cheap? These Nuts sent in this photo with technically 3 games. Progress Orders is an import exclusive with some very negative reviews on Steam. Apparently it's not the kind of game that people were expecting. Anyways, let's have a roundup. Kresalak, Robert M, Devil Angel, Andrew R, Paul S, Daniel C, Sully, Robin H, Cost 71, The Family OG, Corina, Twig E, Gundam Base EX, or is it XE? I don't know. Needless Dragon, Remy X, Politico Stefan, Mr. Matt Hobb. Alright, if you want to send in your pictures, the details are on the screen right now. Special thanks, as always, to my executive producers. Yes, it's the end of the month, and I've decided that at the end of the month, I will do my shout out to my executive producers on Patreon. Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Brent McLean, Alexander Cato, JCrod7776, Punky Dooster, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Thorn Metal Luna, They, Instacritic, Precision Plague, Alex M, Josh Foot, Ishin, Lewis K, Kevin W, Jennifer M, Super Ben Julio, Double Dave, Husway and Horworth, Sora Cat, The Nemo 6, Ghost Bune, G Bautista 100, Rose, Adamantium, Azrath, Jake Vav, D's Nuts, Jeddah Crow, Brotorius, Surfacing for Air, Justin PDC, Cookie Kid, Radio to Rancid, Danielle O, Switch Effect, Kaba Clavacol, Nerdy Sean, Ligma, Michael Del Polito, Big Bruno, Jimmy A. Guerrero, Max Ty, Viz, Dead Bunnies YouTube, Joshua L, Firm Returns, Kevin M, OGCIB, Mr. Awesome, and Miami Sunrise. Thank you so much for your support, plus you watching right now. Yeah, if you watched all the way through, you are a legend too, and I want to know who you are. Please leave me an animal emoji in honor of Animal Well. What's your favorite animal? Leave an emoji. And why is it a hedgehog? I don't know. You tell me. Go check out some of my other stuff on the screen right now and have a fantastic day. Take care.